Joyful Saturday. It is May 10th, 2020, and you are here with Jamila Banks, and we're going to have some real talk with CEO Banks. Drop some Jamila gems. Happy Mother's Day out there to all the mothers, to all the queens that have reproduced, and those that have adopted, who have fostered, who have taken in children into their homes, into their lives, into their hearts, and just been a nurturer and a guide and a vessel for young minds to grow. And so, shouts out to all the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day. So, let's talk a little bit about Mother's Day. I am blessed to be a mother of 4 children. My first blessing is Kirsten, who is 15 in high school, and she is one side of me. She is the quirky, studious, loves to read, loves to watch Criminal Minds, Walking Dead, um, fanciful shows. She loves to create. She's an artist. She plays the viola. She loves photography and to take pictures. She's just really chill. She likes to dress in black, wear chucks. Um, I hired her for my social media intern recently, so if you've seen some of our pages on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, that's her putting out that content and working for us. She has been a blessing since she was born. My little miracle baby. I specifically chose to have her, tried to have her, and she was my first child when I graduated from USC. She was 9 days old. So my last semester, I got to take developmental psychology and see my little blessing develop, and she has been a blessing ever since. From running her school's Earth Club when she was in 3rd grade to being class president in 5th grade to helping create murals in the community and cleanups and host and volunteer so many different events through LA County. Kirsten is a young scholar. She's always academically achieving. She's highly gifted, so she just tested off the charts on her PSATs for 9th grade. She's always in the high percentile of everything. She has an attitude and she gets it honest. She can, talk. She gets that honest. But she's really kind. She's really caring. She has a great heart. She's helpful. And she has been like my rock this past 9 months with having a newborn and just taking care of her siblings. Of course, there's the sibling fights. There's the age difference between her and my other children. But she's just a overall great kid and blessing. And I love my Kirsten Leah Chavez. And my second blessing is our Destiny Banks, our Destiny Tajay Nicole. And she is 8 years old. She is just a spark plug of energy. She is the other side of me. She, like Kirsten, all those other things, studious, highly gifted, multi-talented, great heart, been running stuff. She is just more outrageous. She's like the splash of color. She's the dramatic me, the being in the drama club, the being on the mock trial debates, the acting, the dancing around the house, the spunky, funky, want to jump in and everything and say hi and be live and TikToking and dancing and singing. And so she is just our destiny. AR comes from my mom, rest in heaven, ArLisa Foster, and she was myself and Ty's destiny. So she is our destiny, and I love her. She just created myself and my husband created ours blessing bags where we are stuffing essential items like toiletries and deodorant and socks and deodorant and toothpaste, toothbrush, beanies, just, as many essential items we can into a small blessing bag, maybe about 20 items. And then we partner with our neighbor who's going to cook about 60 dinners. And on May 17th, our Destiny are going to take her ours blessing bags along with these dinners and go donate them to a low income senior, they're the houses with the trailer housing park, and it's seniors. It's a senior community. So we're going to do that. So that is our destiny. That is my, my second blessing. And then we have Nair. And Nair is 5 years old. Nair Matthew Armand Banks. And he is my first boy, and I was so infatuated and just in love with him. You know, I think that's the woman, man, boy, girl, like he's just my little man. And he is also very smart. You know, all my kids are just highly gifted, off the charts. So he's very, very smart. Kindergarten, been in preschool, you know, for 2 years, you know, knows his numbers, the color, his letters. He's taking yoga, you know, he's very into video games, and he is also like our destiny, just a ball of lightning, fire, spunky, running, flipping, hopping, parkouring. At 2 years old, he was jumping off the furniture and flipping and, you know, all these type of things. He is the one that I would say tests my gangster the most, him and our destiny. But he is just so stubborn and just strong-willed and just knows what he wants to do and doesn't want to do and wants to eat and don't wants to eat, and he's so picky with his food and what he wants to wear, and he doesn't like this shorts and he doesn't like this shirt, and I'm just like, you little 5-year-old, like, come on, you know. But he is a Ty and me, so, you know, Nair is just, he's funny, he's smart, he's silly, he's kind and giving. He does environmental programs in preschool, so one day when we were walking home, he's like, and he doesn't know all this because he's only 5, so he's been with us in the community. He's helped paint murals and build gardens and do cleanups, you know, so he knows some of the stuff that we've done, and he's seen pictures, but he doesn't, you know, fully grasp what we do with Foster and Banks Walk in Faith Foundation and Real Recognized Real Entertainment. However, he was playing some environmental video games at school, and one day when we were walking home, he was like, oh my God, Mom, it's so much trash in the street. It's trash everywhere. I want to come pick up the trash. And one day when we were walking, and there was a homeless guy on the ground, he's like, Mom, you know, well, why is he sleeping there? And, you know, what's going on? And why can't we, you know, get him a home and, you know, and help him? And so we've had these talks already about giving and sharing and loving. And, you know, so he is just my little, like, whoo, better watch out, little girls, because Mama's here. And, you know, he got them sisters. And then we come to my last little bundle of blessing that I, you know, birthed for myself. Little legend, Malik Banks, and he, last of the Mohicans, slips right on in. After I lost like 50 pounds, I was done, son. He said, no, Mom, you know, I lost my mother May 4th, 2018, and so he was conceived in December of 2018, so I believe he was like my blessing baby for my mom transcending in her spirit, you know, and he was birthed during that same year. And it took me 3 or 4 months to accept that I was really pregnant and birthing another child, and had to go through a little transition, adjustment, depression, ups and downs. And, you know, I got it together. And, of course, I was, you know, 36, and I was high risk, you know, advanced maternal age after 35, and had to go see a specialist for this and specialist for that and twice a week for this. And, you know, I really had a joyful pregnancy. He would not come out naturally like my other 3. I had to have an emergency C-section at the last moment. So that was like some trauma. You know, he was 41 weeks and 2 days late. My other 3 came at 38 weeks, 39 weeks, 37 weeks, 41 weeks and 2 days. I was like, legend, what's up, dude? What's going on? And he would not descend the cervix. He would not show himself. So they had to go in there and get him. He was 9 pounds, 11 ounces, almost close to 10. They're like, oh, yeah, we see why he didn't want to come down, and you didn't want him to come down. So he was birthed, and, you know, it was different. First time without having my mom by my side. She was at the birth of all my kids, so it was different. First time, just my husband. I had a friend there. Thank you. Shouts out to Shamika. But new city, new hospital, just knew everything. So it was a transition. Unfortunately, he also got a small bacterial infection. So the day after he was born, they had to take him to the NICU. So he was gone for about a week, but Mom was recovering, and I went to see him, and I was pumping that good milk. We had to fight for him to latch on when he got home, but he finally did, and he ain't messed with a bottle ever since. And he is over 20 pounds, and he is crawling and laughing and saying, Mom, and dad and I love you, and he's trying to stand, and he is funny and spunky and smart and will ignore you, and then when you walk away, search for you. He loves his siblings. He is just he is feisty and he is strong. All my kids is like baby Hulks, you know. So they are like little gods and goddesses and stuff. So he is just strong and healthy and happy and demanding and strong-willed. You can already tell that he wants what he wants, and most of the times it's his mom. But he is my last blessing that I birthed naturally, along with my bonus blessings. My husband has a 23-year-old, 23, Nadia, and then also a 13-year-old, I will. So those are my bonus blessings. And then the very, 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 very first blessing, you know, that I had experienced as being a mother was Taylor Renee Chavez from my first marriage. And you know, I was very, very young at the time when I got married, 21, you know, still fresh in college. And you know, she was my first experience at having to care for a small human being, a spiritual being, and having to be a role model. And you know, at the time it was very initially it was very contentious between, you know, our families, you know, being the stepmother, and I was young, dumb, feisty, you know, angry at the world, you know. So me and her mom at first really didn't get along. And you know, a couple years into the marriage, we finally, you know, put that to the side and did what was best to be the best mothers for Taylor. And I remember, you know, when I used to take her up to USC and take her to my classes. This is even before I had my very own baby.
Oh, Lord.
I used to take her, you know, to work with me. I used to take her to the library. I used to just comb her hair, show her off, get her dressed, you know, get her hair done. You know, that was like my baby. And like once me and her mom clicked, that was our baby. And you know, she thankfully had from her mom's side, she had a great, wonderful stepdad, you know, bonus dad. And then for me, she had my mom and my family. So until Kirsten came, and then a couple of years afterwards, till she was like 7 or so, you know, she was heavily in my life, and that was the very first love of the experience of being a mother. And before I end this, I cannot end it with saying Happy Mother's Day with my mom. Rest in heaven, rest in power. ArLisa Foster, September 13th, 1961 to May 4th, 2018. My mom, if you know ArLisa Foster, aka Hoot Nanny, aka Hard Candy, my mom had a heart of gold. She worked with half a heart for 5 years. The last 5 years of her life, she had less than half a heart beating, but she worked with that for 5 years. But she was a vessel of love and light, birthed to help heal hundreds and hundreds of kids and families across the world. Teacher, principal, special ed specialist. She was the old woman who lived in the shoe. My earliest memories of 3rd grade, 2nd grade, my mom was a special ed teacher. She brought students home before it was laws and all that stuff. She fed them, she clothed them. I was running in track in like 5th grade. One of the kids that she taught, she put her in the track and used to pick her up and take her home, and we ran track together and did baseball together. My mom brought in family, friends, cousins, whoever, when I was younger to live with us, up until when I was adult, to live with us when they needed help. You know, I can name about 20 people who have lived with my mom, you know, when they were down and low, who needed help, and she opened her doors. My mom, she just was a giver, a learner, an educator, a healer, and she just exuded love and happiness and bubbly wherever she went. She liked to laugh, party, dance, kick it, hang out. She was the life of the party. Of course, she had her flaws and weaknesses, dealing with her anger and controlling her anger and her hurt and her trauma. You know, she grew up and she had roughness in her childhood, and she had things that she had to heal from. And so she did have a mouth. She did have an attitude. Mom was gangster. I remember one time when she came home upset, and I'm like, Mom, you know, what's wrong? She's like, I was waiting for a pump, and this young dude, he tried to swoop up and get out, and I had to get out with my cane, and I had to tell him, you didn't see me waiting there, and for him to back up, and I was going to cane him. I was going to, Mom, no. This was her at 53. I'm like, Mom, no, you are not going to be caning people. So my mom was my biggest, and still is my biggest inspiration. I've always looked up to her. She's always had my back. She was told she couldn't have kids, and I was her Christmas baby. 8 years later, my brother was born. She believed in miracles. She believed in her higher power. She believed in anything was possible, and transcending any labels and trauma and challenges and issues. And she always taught me to love and believe in myself from day one. She always taught me that I was special, no matter who thought I was special, that she believed in me and that I could believe in me. And every time I fell, she was there to help me get up. You know, my last 3 years with my mother were some of the best times and some of the worst times. We lived together for 3 years as a grown-up. You know, my 35, 6, 7, you know, or 34, 5, 6, you know, with my whole family. Me and Ty and Kirsten, our destiny, and also created and birthed Nair, living with my mom. My landlord had died. His wife had kicked us out. We were not going to be homeless. We weren't together enough to find a place immediately. She took us in. She let us build our credit. She let us save. She let us run our businesses, raise our kids, safe and protected and loved. And we were in her space. We were overrunning her house, and she was like crazy about it, but she also loved me enough to let me get myself enough together and let us get ourselves enough together so we could fly. And unfortunately, when we flew December 2017, 5 months later, she transcended and she passed on back into, you know, the wonderful energy that she is all around me. But I firmly believe that she let her spirit go. We talked every day. We saw each other every day. Not every day, but we talked every day. And every time I went out to LA, run fundraisers, you know, I would visit her. We talked the day before she passed away. The last time I saw her was at our Earth Day event, and she told me she was proud of me no matter if anybody showed up or came out, no matter what vendors were there, no matter what was going on. We were cleaning up the park. We were giving away free food. We were, you know, encouraging people, and she just loved that, and she loved me. And she told me that I finally flew the nest, and that she was proud of me, and I moved way far away from her so she know that I could do it and that I was okay. And you know, I just think it was too much for her being still in that home by herself alone, and she really got to see what me and my family were there around her doing. And my brother was off across the world, you know, doing well. So I think she released her spirit, and her heart couldn't take it anymore. And of course, it was very sad for me, and I still grieve, I still cry. But I'm so happy that she is not in pain, that she is not hurting, that she is not, her heart is not breaking anymore for her own pain and for the hundreds of kids that she felt the pain of and tried to help and heal through being a teacher and a mentor and a motivator and a guide and a healer. So I'm just happy that she is not here suffering through man and environment and issues that are here. I wish she was here to see physically, and I could hug her and kiss her and all that stuff, but I wear her jewelry, I wear, you know, some of her clothes, I still have some of her dresses, and I have so many things that remind me of ArLisa Foster. She is everywhere in my home. Let's see. She is everywhere. Her favorite color and sunflower, or yellow, and her favorite sunflower. She is all throughout our home. And, you know, I just appreciate the sacrifices that she made as a mother, as a person, as a friend, as just a being of love. And if you see me glowing, and if you see me shining, and if you see me excelling, that is all our higher power, and then that is all ArLisa Foster. You know, thankfully, I also had, my grandmother, Melba Coleman, happy Mother's Day. She birthed the vessel that is my mom, who birthed me, and I was able to birth all these kids. So happy Mother's Day to my grandma. If you know her, Melba Faye Coleman, she teacher, principal, Professor Dominguez. She Google her, Dr. Melba Coleman. In the educational world, she is a pioneer, and she also birthed my mom, and she also birthed my uncle, and has always been there for me every step of the way, and calls me her favorite granddaughter. So shouts out to my grandmother. Happy Mother's Day. And again, happy Mother's Day to all these mothers out there. You are loved, you are supported, you are cherished, you are adored. And if nobody tells you, I'm telling you. So walk in faith, walk in love. Mother's Day.